So then a rest day today at Dakar and the second rotation of the airborne mechanics. So a view of the bivouac here under the searing sunshine in Mauritania. A rest day at least for some of the competitors, but for the mechanics, all hands on deck, particularly with Bruno Sabi here catching up with his mechanics. Richard's Mioni on the right hand side, and Juan Roma out after having injured his right leg yesterday. Everything was okay until the day yesterday where we saw Roma crash. It was a sad and hard thing for us, but the team spirit is always on top. Concerning the Boxer engines, the new machines, we have nothing to say. We've just had one problem a couple of days ago when the engine broke because of a stone. And then over on the other side of the bivouac with KTM, single-cylinder machines, Heinz Kinnegartner saying to us at the beginning, we pushed hard with BMW to try and make BMW brake. And it's worked. Now we just have to control the race from the front. There are no riders above any other rider in KTM. I just say to them that the road is a very, very long one to Dakar, and we just have to make this road as easy and as quiet as we can. I wouldn't like to see my riders crashing, but we don't have any pressure. We just have to control everything.
Aber trotzdem, es schaut sehr, sehr gut aus für uns. Und
that is exactly what we're going to do with us in KTM until we get to Dakar. Well, from the two-wheeled machines over to the four-wheeled machines with Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi leading overall with Hiroshi Mashioka. Bremer saying, the team boss, he says, for us it's a dream to be here with our 5 cars. And at least some people getting a little bit of a clean-up, a little bit of a sleep. And of course those filters, a little bit of a clean as well. Stefan Perra-Hansel, the leader in T1. For us it's okay. We're exactly 3 hours ahead of Magnaldi and my ex-teammate at Yamaha. It's very nice. It's a very good rally for us. The last part was very interesting, but also it was very difficult. I'm happy to be here and in this position.
Et puis des spéciales très techniques, très variées, pas toujours faciles, surtout la dernière pour venir jusqu'à Dakar, mais en tout cas un rallye très intéressant.
So the view down on Dakar, a very dusty service area indeed. We'll be back with the action tomorrow. Well, the motorbikes got through France even though they didn't do the Castellón stage after the problems with the Spanish Motorcycle Federation. But once they got into Morocco, the action really started, with them all ding-donging between themselves. The battle between Richard Sankt, the battle between Juan Roma and Richard Sankt. But then, of course, there were the KTMs. Mioni Arcarons, Dugavado, Esteve Puyol, Alfie Cox, and the American BMW rider Jimmy Lewis. Britain's John Deacon in there as well, with Johnny Campbell on his single-cylinder Honda snapping at their heels. Richard Sankt got it all under control, initially having a lead of 13 minutes, then having it reduced to 5 minutes, and it hovered around 5 minutes for most of the time through Northern Africa. However, for Spain's Juan Roma on his flat-twin BMW, he was going like a train, and eventually he was going just too hard. He went over the top, and he says it was very bad luck for my morale. It's bad for my morale rather than my injured leg. But ironically, on the same stage, Richard Sankt retired as well. The day before the rest day, he says here, very bad luck, as on the rest day tomorrow we were due to change the engine. 7 KTM machines and only 1 engine failure, and that has been mine. Everybody has been taking a tumble, and everybody has been literally biting the dust. Even Roma taking a very nasty crash earlier in the week. Roma eventually falling and then out of the rally on stage 10. Frederic Moncassin had a monster. He was up on his feet and okay. Not so much good luck for Christian de Keet. He says he thinks he's broken his ankle, and he could only think of what could have been. Well, Chile's Carlos de Gavado was victorious on one of the motorbike stages, the first victor of a motorbike stage from Southern America. He battled things out with Spain's Esteve Puyol on the similar single-cylinder KTM, and they were all eventually returning to Attar within 1 hour of the overall leader. South Africa's Alfie Cox had a stage win on stage 10 that saw him grinning like a Cheshire cat to put Cox up into 5th, just ahead of America's Jimmy Lewis. Lewis having terrible luck through some injured wrists and then an oil leak that was filling his boot full of oil. But in the end, the overall leader on the rest day was Italy's Fabrizio Mioni, the 43-year-old Italian star, having an overall lead of just over 20 minutes. Jordi Arcarons was in second place. It was a KTM 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Mioni from Arcarons. De Gavado another 20 minutes back. Esteve Puyol another 16 back. And Alfie Cox in 5th. When the crews had got into Northern Africa, Serbia had won a stage, Schlesser had won a stage, Fontenay won one as well in Europe. And then the Schlesser buggies really did start to take over. Schlesser victorious on stage 4, Serbia on 5, Schlesser again on 6. But then the Mitsubishis started to edge their way in. However, the overall lead has always been contested in Africa between Schlesser or Serbia, the Frenchman and the Spaniard, in the two-wheel drive buggies built at the back of Cannes. However, Schlesser incurred a 1 hour penalty after this incident where he was pushed inside a time control zone, which is illegal. The rules are the rules, and Schlesser docked 1 full hour. Then on stage 10, the overall leader, Jose Maria Servia, got his buggy beached just on the crest of one of the dunes, and he could do nothing about it. Servia eventually losing well over 1.5 hours. For the majority of Northern Africa, the stages, so far as Mitsubishi were concerned, were covered pretty well by France's Jean-Pierre Fontenay in his four-wheel drive Pajero, until this moment when he went over one of the dunes and the machine rolled onto its side. Then, the very next day, bad luck continued when the drive shaft pulled out of the upright, and although they drove on it for 100 kilometers, that's just over 60 miles, eventually the wheel pulled off. Well, what happened overall? In the end, it was Hiroshi Mashioka who came on top after winning 2 stages to lead over all. There was not a single mark on the machine by the time he returned to Attar on the rest day. Never yet has there been a Japanese overall winner of the Dakar. Could it happen in 2001? Jutta Kleinschmidt was victorious on stage 9 in her Mitsubishi, the German driver getting a stage win for the second year in a row. Kleinschmidt eventually 45 minutes overall behind the overall leader, Hiroshi Mashioka. The crews went from Morocco over the border into Mauritania under the watchful eye of everybody. Bruno Sabi here saying he's very happy, but we're going to just follow the others. The two-wheel drive Ford, of course, trying to do best. Thierry Delaverne ending up in 7th overall. He an upright as well, struggling through one of the stages with the wheel at a very, very acute angle. And Stefan Pederhansel doing well in T1 with his Nissan. Most of the Nissans still in the Dakar from the 22 that started from Paris. So with the time penalties after stage 9, Mashioka leads by 35 minutes from Schlesser, Sousa, Kleinschmidt and Servier. Where would Schlesser be without that 1 hour penalty? Who knows? The monsters of the desert continued with the trucks. It was a battle between Tatra, a battle between Kamaz, and then the Japanese were in there with Sugawara with his Hino. Likewise the Mercedes and the MANs all up there. The Kamaz effort did not start well, with their first retirement happening on the second day, with Tibau retiring, and then on day 7 Guria, he went out, and then the former stage winner on the Dakar, Kabarov, retiring on leg 9. However, Chagin in the remaining Kamaz was in 2nd position by the time the rest day arrived. However, he was just over an hour and a quarter back of the overall leader, Lopre, in truck number 425. The second half of the Dakar therefore kicks off tomorrow with the stage from Attar to Nouakchott, a road section of 34 kilometers and then a special stage of 437 going down southwest towards the Atlantic. People may have refreshed themselves on the rest day, however, they're going to have to need it. The Dakar continues, 2001. The road to Dakar is very long and very hot.